Welcome back to the DFS Red Shop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we are going to be breaking down tonight's 12-game MLB slate. We've got them kicking off. The first one is at 7:05. We've got the Chicago White Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. I don't know if you guys had anything invested in the early, but it turns out that the Baltimore stack was a good one. We saw your Morrison just homered on a 1-1 count, and Evan Longoria to score. So that Tampa game is getting pretty litty there. But we saw envious one. What's up, big homie? We saw some very solid scoring in the early in that Boston slate and that Boston game. And if you had anything invested in the early slate and you got a chance to really chop it up with us and get it in, then I'm sure it helped you a lot. I'm sure it helped you a lot. So we just now jumping into the shop, man. And you got a chance to really chop it up with us. Here. Now, real quick, Christopher Marie, good to see you, man. Baltimore stack was on deck. Hopefully that's going to be the good spot. Yo, what's up, man? The Texas bats today. Seattle went deep and lost 2 relievers last night. Top of Paxton going to the DL. Yeah, man. Kirk Covers in the spot. What's happening, big homie? Good to see you, man. Young Yeezy, what's up, man? So, we got the usual suspects in the spot, man. And what we want to do here, man, in the sweatshop, is we want to offer you an alternative to the bullshit. We want to give you an opportunity to chop it up with cats that not only are everyday average players, just like you, who don't have 150 lineups invested in each tournament, are not maxing everything out and then trying to tell you who to play. What we want to do, we want to offer you just some real solid, an alternative to that bullshit, a real solid DFS community, a DFS home, guys you can kick it with all day. We stay live all day, and it's always a really good thing to get inside of here and chop it up. First things first, man, I want to send a huge shout out today to the homie Sammy McGlure. Now, what this cat went out, and is it a way I can show it to you, man? Well, whatever. Anthony Bowles up, big homie. This dude went out, and he took down first place in a qualifier style tournament. They're inviting him out to Miami to go to a live final. It's the homie Sammy McGlure, NBA live final. And what I think he can do here, what's at stake here is, of course, some cash and some tickets to the NBA finals. And guess what this dude did, okay? This dude reached out to me and said, look, I'm going to Miami, live final, I won, I rep the shop, I'm a sweatshop member, love being in the group, blah, blah, blah. He says, if you are not doing anything the weekend of XYZ, why don't you come to Miami with me to the live final? What? I immediately was like, first and foremost, thank you. Like, what even makes somebody want to be that generous to me, you know what I'm saying, is like, wow, you know what I mean? And then the fact that, MIA, that's fucking love, bro. So, your DFS Jerusalem and the big homie Sammy McGlure, we're gonna be heading out to Miami, engaging in a little bit of live final fun and fellowship. So that's dope, man. That's so dope. Shout out to the homie again, man. And funny thing, I want to tell you, it's my wife's anniversary. It's our anniversary. You see, I said it's my wife's anniversary, right? Because anniversary is really for the women. But the 19th is our anniversary, so I have to do something special for her on the 18th. And then shoot on out to Miami with the homie Sammy McGlure and get it in straight lit. So that was awesome. That was awesome, bro. It was one of those like moments in a relationship where you see what's really important. My wife was like, I was like, I'm telling her about it, and she was like, that's our anniversary. She was like, but I think this would be good for the sweatshop to go out, gain some exposure, and meet people, network, shake some hands. I think it'd be a good thing for you. And I was like, whose wife is this? Does she got something planned? Is she trying to creep out on me for the weekend? But hey, so I'm getting it in, man. That's going to be really dope. I cannot wait for that. Looking forward to it. But let's go ahead without further ado and go ahead and jump into tonight's slate. The first game we're going to be talking about is going to be the Chicago White Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. This game, mostly cloudy, 66% humidity, is 11-mile-per-hour wind shooting out toward right field. We've got Dylan Covey on the mound at 4.5 and Dylan Bundy at 8.4. It's already been confirmed that a lot of us in the shop, I would say it's like a 30-70 split. 30% of us in the shop, I would say, like Dylan Bundy in the spot. Now at 8.4K, I think we're paying a premium price for him. But if we look at what he's been doing over the last few games, I mean, 13, 12, 21, 25, 8.8, and 31.35. I think this is a guy that we can give consideration to. Now, the Chicago White Sox have not been the team to pick on recently. They haven't. They haven't been the spot to pick on. That's more so Kansas City Royals. But in this spot, when we're looking to pay down in some ways, for pitching in order to get some of those cores guys in there, or to even, pay up for Kershaw in an area or two. Yo, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with Dylan Bundy. And that really brought up another point for me. Because if we've got so many people talking highly about Dylan Bundy, a guy who is not an A-style pitcher by any means, well, wouldn't you think a contrarian way to go would be to take advantage of some of those Chicago White Sox bats? Now I'm talking to you, Edwin Neves, because you are the resident Chicago White Sox enthusiast. You can tell us better in the VIP what you think about taking a shot at Dylan Bundy with some of those Chicago bats. Now, if we do, there's just not a lot of lefty power that I like. One guy I think is going to be a very solid play could be Melky Cabrera. I think could be a solid hedge play in this spot. Like today, I played Carrera and I played the pitcher from the same team. I played Estrada. I played Carrera and Estrada, I think. And Carrera was the only one to hit a home run. So that was good. What's good, my defense guru? What's up, Chris Muscolino? What's up, the big homie? So I think this game deserves some consideration. I think if you're not playing Dylan Bundy, you should take advantage of some of the that's the beautiful part about this. I'm not here to take you off of anybody. What I'm here to do is give you a different way to look at the guys you already like. Because some of you were on some of the White Sox guys. Some of you were on Dylan Bundy. I just want to give you a different way to look at the guys that you're already on. Okay, I don't want to take you off of people. That's what they do on the other spot. They try to lead you and steer you in the wrong direction. All I want to do is I want to make you aware of what you're doing. Like, if you don't like Dylan Bundy, what you're really saying is I like some Chicago White Sox. So why not play a couple of White Sox in your lineup if you don't like Dylan Bundy? And this is a chalk spot for him, in my opinion. And if you want to attack the chalk, if you want to avoid the chalk, good. But attacking the chalk is kind of where it's at. Melky and Abreu are the best to attack Bundy with. That's coming from the homie Christopher Marie. And I'm going to also hit you with certain things that some of the cats in the shop really point out to me. Bundy. Bundy. I kind of like him. I will have some Bundy. I'm all the way with Abreu and Melky in the lineup. Q-Dub, what's happening, big homie? Good to see you, man. So, taking a look at some of these Baltimore bats, man, this is an eruption spot for these cats. And on a 12-game slate, this is where ownership gets kind of tricky. This is where ownership gets kind of tricky because it's not enough games. 15 games is so much where ownership really doesn't take a big stranglehold on your lineups. It really doesn't. Ownership in a 15-game slate, especially if you've got an A-stud pitcher like we do tonight, right? But 12 games is kind of that little area where it does matter. Ownership does matter on a 12-game slate. Like you can have a few good plays you like, and then determine which one's going to be the best one to play based off what do you see the ownership being, right? So ownership does matter. Ownership does matter. I like several Baltimore bats here. Of course you do, because you're a smart man. Chris Davis, yes. Seth Smith leading off at 3.7 is nice, and these guys are not entirely overpriced. Now the Flaherty guy at 2.8. I don't know if I can get there, but you can give me some Chris Davis. You can give me some Seth Smith. You can give me some Manny Machado in this spot. Maybe, just maybe, some Trey Mancini at 3.5. If I got 3.5 left, I wouldn't see a problem rocking with him. So there's definitely a few spots you can take a look at. And going back to it, I'm going to highlight Dylan Bundy here. And a couple of guys that were mentioned in the shop were going to be Abreu as well as Cabrera. And I had one guy who kind of like Garcia that switched hitter at 3.1. So those are all guys that you may be able to target in this spot. Really. I like the two-man approach on this slate too. Several teams have tag teams you can deploy. I agree. I certainly agree with that. This game we're talking about is the Washington Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, this is a 2% chance of very light rain. Don't think you have anything to worry about in this spot. 12-mile-per-hour winds going out toward right field. You've got a dew point of 51 and 60 degrees is the temperature at Citizens Bank Park. You got A.J. Cole on the mound at 5.4. Vince Velasquez at 8.1 is going to be there for the Philadelphia Phillies. Automatically, I like attacking Vince Velasquez. Taking a look over his last few games, 17, 13.4, 6, 9.25, and 16. Not overwhelming. Not going to really blow you away with some of the statistics, but, you know, I definitely think that I can take a spot. I like the bats in the spot. Envious One over on YouTube says this is a game stack game, and I kind of like that idea. I kind of like that. You can take a look at in this spot. Daniel Murphy jumps out to me at second base. Maybe some Matt Wieters at that catcher spot at 3.2. I kind of like Rendon here as well as Trey Turner. We know that Vince Velasquez does not do an awesome job holding runners, and Trey Turner is a guy that can steal bags. I like a few of those cats there. Attacking A.J. Cole is as simple as rostering some of the left-handed bats for the Philadelphia Phillies. You talk about Brock Stassi at 2.8, Obdul Herrera at 3.5. That's very cheap for Obdul Herrera, man. I like him in the spot. He's one of my favorite players on the slate. Outfield eligible, too. I think A.J. Cole could be sneaky, actually, but I won't go there. And, you know, the 9-run total would scare me off of him if I did like him a lot. Herrera will go off, coming from the Envious One. Give me some of that Herrera in the spot. I think Michael Saunders is also a guy that you can play. Freddie Galvis looks pretty good, too, at 3.4. I don't know why these guys are priced down so low against a pitcher that's so, like, bad. I don't know. Maybe they know something that we don't know. But I think we can definitely take advantage of some of these cats here. Next game we're talking about is the Milwaukee Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. This game does have the chance of delaying or raining out. Please, if you don't play Goldie, play Zimmerman. I agree with that. I agree with that. This game does have a possibility of raining out or delaying. PNC Park, 10-mile-per-hour wind going out toward left field, 38% chance of light rain, 49 degrees, 43 is the dew point. Now, this is a game that I agree with the Envious One. I do like this game a lot, and I really hope this game plays because there are a few guys I think I can take advantage of. Now, the weather concerns are real, and you look at Garrett Cole at 9.6 going against this Milwaukee Brewers order. This is a team that does strike out a lot, man. Checking out where they are second in the league in K percentage at 25.1. You look at Garrett Cole. He is a guy that can throw strikes. The Brewers have been quite underwhelming recently. Does that means to me that he could be in play? He could very well be in play, and I don't foresee the ownership being very high. Most people are still, you know, reeling from those monster games you saw from a lot of those Milwaukee guys, so they're not going to be one to play guys against Cole. They're not going to be one to play Cole against the Milwaukee Bats. I think you can. I think you can play Cole in the spot. I kind of like him there. Matt Garza at 6.4, another play that I think may be solid, man. I mean, outside of Josh Bell, Harrison, maybe some Bell. You look at John Jason at 3K. The guys I like for Pittsburgh are cheap as shit, and for that reason, you know, I'm hoping for something with these guys. These are not solid plays that I love. I'm hoping for, you know, a solid performance from a lot of these Pittsburgh guys, and I think that you can take a look at Matt Garza here. I'm not so much in love with the bats, but I think the pitching on either side can definitely separate you. You got Manny Pena at 2.6. Against left-handers, yes. Against the right-hander, I don't really like him too much. Travis Shaw is a guy you know is always in play for me. I've got to see Eric Thames do some more before I can roster him with that complete confidence we had a few weeks ago. So Corey Randall said he's fading this game. A lot of options on the board tonight. I can dig that. And see, I love that tunnel vision that Corey Randall is going to have. Corey is going to know early in the night, early into his lineup, whether he's going to have a good one or not. He's going to know. Because when you fade certain games and you center your focus, you shorten your player pool, you narrow it yourself, that makes it easier for you to put out guys that you like in different lineups. And when it all hits, when it all comes together, we have those great nights. So the batting in this game is not what I'm really on. It would be more so the pitching. Talking about Matt Garza and Garrett Cole, which I do like Garrett Cole more. He's priced up 3.2K more than Matt Garza. Next game we're talking about goes to me. What's happening, big homie? It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. You gotta think at SunTrust Stadium, with 14-mile-per-hour wind going out toward right field, 0% chance of rain, 70 degrees, excellent Atlanta baseball weather. You gotta think that you're gonna see the Braves bats attack Mike Leake in this spot. You've got to. I think you've got to see that. You know, I think, you know, it's gonna be tough for me to make a I got multiple lines going. It's going to be tough to not have Freddie Freeman in a couple of them. It's going to be tough. I mean, this team got shellacked last night. And Mike Leake, although he's a very solid pitcher, a guy I think is going to be quite heavily owned. Because I think people are going to look at what the Braves did last night at home, and they're going to want to play Mike Leake, which I'm going to attack Mike Leake in this spot. And I'm going to do it with a couple of left-handers. Give me some Markakis, some Inciarte. Give me Freddie Freeman. I even like Matt Kemp in this order as well. I think, man, I love some of these Atlanta bats. I'm here. A couple of bats I like from this game. I like Freeman the most, though. Of course you do. Of course. Leake is supposed to be the chalk tonight. That's why I'm going at him. I'm going at Leake because I think he's going to be one of the more chalky players on the slate, and I'm going at him. I'm taking a shot at him. I'm going to know very early in the night whether I'm going to have a good one or I'm just going to get my buy-in back and make a couple of dollars, or if I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to know early because I'm attacking some of this chalk. Looking on the other side, now this is probably, if I had to pick, if you ask me, well, Mo, who is your for show first base guy that's going to make value? And for value, we talk about 2.5x value on this salary. If you had to ask me that, I would immediately say it's going to be Matt Carpenter. Like Wong in a spot, leading off. Give me some Matt Carpenter against Turan. Does not play well against lefties. Most people are going to want to stack St. Louis based off what happened last night. I'm not sure if I can go with a complete stack of this team, but I definitely think Matt Carpenter and Colton Wong are very solid plays. At 2.7, bro, how can you not like Colton Wong in this spot? I like him. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. I'm definitely into it. Now, a two-man stack is kind of where I'm going to be going, but I like to have 3, maybe 4 bats from the Atlanta side. 2-man St. Louis team stack. That's what we're talking about. Now we're chopping this shit up. This is what it's about, bro. I love this shit. This is why, we were at the zoo, man. I live in Florence, South Carolina. My sisters live in Columbia. We took the kids, got all our children together, came up and went to Columbia Zoo, and we had a great time. I was kind of sad for the animals, though. I was kind of sad for the animals, just seeing them, knowing, because I've been to jail before. You know what I'm saying? I know how it feels to be in an enclosed space and not be able to move freely and do what you want to do. So I kind of felt a little bad for the animals. But the kids enjoyed it, so that's what matters. Gotcha. Next game we're talking about is going to be the San Francisco Giants and the Cincinnati Reds. 12% chance of light rain. I really hope this game plays at 12 mile per hour wind going out towards center field. Ty Black, Amir Garrett. How do we feel about Amir Garrett? I think a lot of cats are going to want to be on him, man. We're looking over the last few games for him. 16.5. I said play him the last time against Pittsburgh, coming off of that negative 15-point performance. And I think that is still a sour taste in a lot of cats' mouths. I really do. 15.7 to Milwaukee, 30 against Baltimore, 21 against Pittsburgh, 23 against St. Louis. Now, the last time against Pittsburgh, he had 21. He had 21 in this game. So I am not off of Amir Garrett. I think he's a guy you can play in this spot. I might fade him if he's chalk, coming from Christopher Marie. I kind of like Garrett, and like Christopher Marie says, I'm not in love with him. I've got a cheaper guy that I like, but I think Amir Garrett can be in a solid spot. You look at this order for the San Francisco Giants. You've got some right-handed power, man, with Pence and Posey. Also, Arroyo has been playing pretty well lately. You got Eduardo Nunez, and Amir Garrett is really good at holding runners. Doesn't give up a lot of stolen bases. So I mean, he could be a solid play. But if you think he's going to be chalk, if you think Amir Garrett is going to be chalk, how's the weather out here? The weather is 12% chance of rain, 53% humidity, 12 mile per hour wind, 59 degrees, and the dew point is 42. So if you don't like Amir Garrett, and as so many people are high on him, if you don't like Amir Garrett, there's a reason why you don't. That means you like some of these San Francisco bats. So I would take advantage of that if I were you. I would. Ty Black, definitely a guy we can stack against. Let's get some of that right-handed power, man. Give me some Adam Duvall in the spot. This is okay. I was pretty tossed up between Votto, Carpenter, and Freeman. And the one thing that has me leaning more towards Carpenter and Freeman is, Joey Votto's numbers against left-handed pitching. Even though it's Ty Black and he's really bad, I think I have a better matchup when it comes to Freeman or when it comes to Carpenter having that better price being 1,000 less. So I think that that's really going to make Joey Votto low owned tonight. And if you don't agree with me on Freeman, if you don't agree with me on Carpenter, I take a shot at Joey Votto. If I'm wrong, you're right. So that's just the way that's the way it is. Give me some Zach Cozart at 3.6. I like this. I kind of like them as a mini stack here. Billy Hamilton, switcher at 4.2, can have a really solid game. Eugenio Suarez, a guy that I like, but the guy I like more than Suarez is going to be Peraza. I love Peraza in this spot. So I like 5 guys from Cincinnati. So this is going to be like the first game the first team we consider a stackable team for me is the Cincinnati Reds are the first team that I'm going to consider a stackable offense. Cincinnati stacked with Freeman or Carpenter instead of. Now you telling the secrets. Now you throwing out the secret sauce. You see that? That's why it's so hard to open up the YouTube, man. Cause see, long time faithful members like the envious one goes out and throws out the secret sauce. Now check it out. Let's say you stack in Cincinnati and you want to go 4 or 5 deep. Say you want to go 1 through 5 for Cincinnati, right? But you see Votto, you don't like the matchup. You take Votto out, you pay down to Carpenter at 3.8. You still got a solid Cincinnati stack, and your first baseman ain't lacking for nothing. I like that. That's nice. That's nice. In a 9-run total, yes. Pour them on me, baby. Next game we're talking about is the Miami Marlins at Citi Field against the New York Mets. 82% humidity, 7% chance of very light rain, 12-mile-per-hour wind going out towards center field. We've got Despagne on the mound for the Marlins and Robert Gesselman at 6.6. You know, most times I'm a homer for New York teams, and I will show love to cats like Robert Gesselman. But man, you know, Miami came out smoking yesterday, and they got chased down by the Mets. So I think that is really gonna give them that boost to go out and swing the bats well. Plus, they know their pitcher is not very good. They're going to have to give him some run support if they think they're going to try to win this game. You can give me some of these the left-handed bats, especially maybe like the guy. Okay, these guys I like. Give me some Realmuto. Give me some D. Gordon. Quick question: Is Ichiro Suzuki hitting for anything? Like, is this like his 3,999 hits, and he need one more double to get like 1,000 doubles? Find out about that, because if there's a narrative involved in Ichiro Suzuki being 7th in the order, that's something you want to take advantage of. So maybe Ichiro, bro, 2.5. The dude's the master of the drop-in single. They moved Ozuna up to 3rd too. Yeah, I like Ozuna right there at 3.4. Yeah, this is a stackable offense again. It just is. It really is. Against Gesselman, it is. Now, looking on the other side, man, Conforto is still priced down, 3.6. That's the homie Paul Harless's guy. Brian Dubkamp, what's happening, big homie? Are we on Arizona bets tonight? I think we will be. You got Abdul Cabrera at 3.6. Other night, he was probably the best shortstop player on the slate. Don't see why that can't happen tonight. I like some of that. Then you got Jay Bruce. Like, Despaigne is going to have to see opposite-handedness the first 5 bats down the line. And that's going to be tough for him. So, of course, the Met stack is definitely in play. How many of you were sweating like shit with your Met stacks yesterday when, like, in the 3rd inning, they didn't have anything, and then you check back and look, and they, like, won the game by 1. They scored, like, 9 fucking runs. So it's very possible. Jose Reyes at 3.9. I kind of like this. I kind of like this, really. Next game we're talking about is the New York Yankees, my New York Yankees, at Wrigley Field. This is a 7.5 run total, which is fairly low for teams that have this type of offensive capability, especially with the pitching being Jordan Montgomery for the Yankees at 7K and Brett Anderson at 6.9 for the Cubs. I would imagine that this would have been a higher point total. Somebody give me some reasons why you think this game is not an 8, 9, or even 9.5 point total. Christopher Marie says game stack. So you must be of the opinion that we're going to see, kind of low ownership. Sharps on or over. Gotcha. That's coming from Jake Nolan, man. Good call. Good call. So it is a 7.5 run total. For the Yankees, you've got Brett Gardner, Aaron Hicks, Starlin Castro, Aaron the Judge at 4.5, who I think you got to get in your lineups against the left-handed Brett Anderson. I think you got to play that guy in the spot. Love him in outfield. You look at Castro at 3.4. He's another guy. Like, I'm not so sold on Brett Gardner in this spot, but I think Aaron Hicks is a guy you can take advantage of. So you come up with a nice little three-man stack. Let everybody else play Gary Sanchez. That's my opinion. Let everybody else play Gary Sanchez. Christopher Marie says the pitcher's a gas can. I mean, and we do have the wind blowing in. 14-mile-per-hour wind is coming back toward that first base line. Maybe that's why the point total, the run total was low. So, Didi Gregorius, not really on him. Chase Headley, if you want to get real freaky, at 3.5. Then you got Chris Carter batting 8th. So this is kind of their power lineup in some spots. You look at Gary Sanchez in there, man. Let everybody else roster him. I'm not playing Gary Sanchez. That's just me. Let everybody else do it. I'm not. I want to see something first. So looking on the Chicago side, you got Chris Bryant batting 3rd in the order, priced up to $5K. You got Ben Zobrist now leading off. So somebody give me some information. Judge is a beast, yeah. Price ain't bad on Castro. No, I like the price on Castro. I do. One through 7 for the Yankees and 1 through 6 for the Cubs. I can dig that. I'm looking at a few things, man. I'm checking out. I got RotoQL. I rock with some. Of course, using the official DraftKings app, the MLB app, Swish Analytics, a lot of different stuff that I use. Might want to roster around Judge. He's going to start to get pitched around. I can see that, and the ownership on him is going to be tough too. It's going to be a ton of ownership. But I just don't want to keep saying that. Oh man, he can't keep doing this, and he keep doing it. I like Sanchez here, but I can't pay 4.6 for a catcher, man. Yeah, I just can't do that. If I could play him anywhere else, I would give it more consideration. But for a catcher, man, I just cannot pay 4.6. That is against the sweatshop way of DFS life. Now, yeah. So we're taking a look here. Yeah, Brian is a nice spot. We talked about him. I kind of like Zobrist here in the spot. Rizzo, not so much. Maybe some Addison Russell at 3.7. Dude has big pop. For a small little shortstop, man, Russell has big pop. And we're not going to be seeing Schwarber in today's lineup. So might want to take a look at these guys. Wilson Contreras at 3.7. See, right now in this game, I would rather play Contreras over Gary Sanchez. I would. The price, man. The price. Or even pay down some more. Mel Jr. Has shown up to be a sleeper that's coming from Christopher Marie here. I can dig it. So there's a lot that I do like about this Yankees and Chicago Cubs game. The pitching, no. I don't like the pitching at all. Next game we're talking about is the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. Another 11.5 run total. 1% chance of very light rain. We've got 7-mile-per-hour wind going out towards center field. 79 degrees, going to be the temperature there. Now we saw an excellent game from the homie, Paul Goldschmidt. Dude went nuts, and it could very well happen today. Now I want you to look at this game. It says the game will blow up today. I want you to look at this game in two different ways. Okay. Now look at this game in 2 different ways. One, really great game we saw last night from a lot of the Arizona Diamondback guys. Will they want to bounce back? And the thing when you play Patrick Corbin is, as a left-hander going into Coors, getting exposure to some of these right-handed bats, man, like Nolan Arenado for sure, can be the difference in rocking it out and not. So you give me some of these right-handed bats for Coors, I'm going to play them. I like it. Zona murders lefties. Then you look on the other side, and we got the same thing for them. You look at Pollock, Owings, Goldschmidt, Yasmani Tomas, who I think is in the best spot of all these guys to have a bounce-back game. Even Drury in the spot. So, this is one of the most playable games on the slate. That's one way to look at it. Or, do we get He says Trevor Story is due like a library book. No, yeah. So I mean, this is tough, man. This is tough because there's no way you're gonna be able to pay up for the pitching that you like if you are totally invested in this game. Is it Colorado having troubles against lefties? Some do. Arenado, no. Arenado mashes left-handies. Ian Desmond, really good against left-handed pitching. Mark Reynolds, decent. Story, not so much. And LeMahieu, not so much. But, yo, Blackman hits well against lefties. He has, like, reverse splits, I think. This game could get crazy. Then there's the other side. The game is going to dud. And if you think the game is going to dud, I think Patrick Corbin could be a very solid pitching prospect in this spot if you think the game is going to dud. Now, I'm going to have lineups. I'm going to play Corbin in one lineup. I am. Yeah, Ian Desmond, he hit batting cleanup in that 4-hole, man. That's going to be tough. I like cheaper pitchers, so it's not an issue to me. Love Tomas. Okay, Desmond, Arenado, Reynolds for Colorado. I'm going to play Corbin. I'm going to play Corbin. I'm going to play Corbin. Because if there's any team that has like, okay, what team has let you down more than any other? I'm talking about in a prime spot, at home, home run field, the murderer's row type lineup you got here, and they go out and they score 2 runs. It's been the Rockies. The Rockies can do that. And I know one of the most contrarian things to do is to play a pitcher at Coors, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to play Patrick Corbin in one lineup tonight. I am. Next game we're talking about is going to be the LA Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. There's a 13% chance of light rain here. 15-mile-per-hour wind going out toward right field. We've got a 60 degrees out there in San Diego. 54 dew point there. Clayton Kershaw at 14.2 against Clayton Richard at 6.1. What are you going to do? Very tough sell for me here. Guy scored 12.7 last time out against San Francisco. 27 against them the game before that. 32, 33, 12, and 32.5. Yo, the dude averages 25 DraftKings points per game. So if he goes out and does what he does on average at 14.2, is that the value that you're looking for? It's not for me. And usually I play these ace stud pitchers like this. I play them in one lineup or every lineup. That's how I go. With these ace pitchers, with the Kershaws and the Scherzers, either I just play them in one or I play them in all of them. That's how I do it. If I like them, I love them. If I don't like them, I don't like them. But they're so good, I gotta play them at least in one spot. And that's kind of what I'm feeling today about Clayton Kershaw. I mean, yeah, he should definitely bounce back. He should definitely bounce back. And is bouncing back for Kershaw, 8 scoreless innings with 1 hit and 11 Ks? Is that bouncing back? Or is it scoring 25 DraftKings points, his average coming off a 12-point performance? Like, one of those bouncing backs ain't what I want to pay 14.2K for. So me, I would curb my enthusiasm with him, man. Either I love him so much I go all in on him, or I hate him and I might play him in one spot. No Kershaw for me. Fuck it. I lose by not rostering it, so be it. I can dig it. You can't. No, you can't. It's so 14K, but that's nuts. Bellinger is wrecking shop. His second home run was right after a strikeout. Dude can hit. That is very true, man. And the good thing I like about Bellinger in this spot, we're talking about some of those Dodger bats. The good thing I like about Bellinger in the spot that he's in is that he is outfield eligible, which means you can get him in 3 different spots on your roster, Whereas he was first base, it was like, damn, I don't want to play him at first base, Or when he was first base or outfield eligible, that was really cool too. No Kershaw on Westbrook status. 14K will kill. It's gonna kill your bats. It is. Bellinger's now, and the homie Dylan Zink has been jumping up and down, like, to play Bellinger. I'm telling you, play. And most of us have not been doing it. So, our bad. But going against Clayton Richard, man, you can play a couple of these guys. All right. We know that against left-handers, it's been a thing for the Dodgers. But the last left-hander that they saw, they did play well against him. But we know that lefties against Dodgers are a thing. I think the fact that Clayton Kershaw is going to be playing in this game is going to keep the run total down. It is under 6.5. Well, it's going to be 6.5 is the over under. If you want to play Clayton Richard, thinking that he can get past some of these left-handed bats, I wouldn't really have an issue there. I really wouldn't have an issue there. I think the game is gonna be a low total anyway. That is the only reason why I won money on FanDuel last night. If you're not playing Coors bats, you can afford Kershaw. That's true. That's true. But why would you not play Coors bats in this spot? You know what I mean? So if you want to attack Clayton Kershaw, and see, Clayton Kershaw is of that level that he's one of the only pitchers that if I'm not playing him, I don't have to attack him. I can just leave him the fuck alone. You know what I mean? He's like a bee's nest. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't want the bees all over me, so I'm not gonna hit it with a stick. You know what I mean? Like I'm not Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, a few other guys. They're that good that if I'm not playing them, I don't have to attack them. Like that's like super duper contrarian. Only guy probably gonna score in this game is gonna be Will Myers. Will's probably gonna hit a solo jack, and that's gonna be it. And he's gonna get up 2 hits and 1 run, and score like 30 DraftKings points. That's probably what's gonna happen. That's probably what's gonna happen today. So I have no interest in playing any of these San Diego Padres guy. I have no interest in going too super heavily on a lot of the Dodgers guys because I know their history against left-handers. Maybe some Justin Turner. Justin Turner and Bellinger would be the only 2 guys that I really would feel comfortable about playing in this spot. Isn't Cargo out? Let's go back and check that one out too, because I have the lineup here. Yeah, Cargo is out. Ian Desmond is there for Cargo. Yeah, Ian Desmond is right there for Carlos Gonzalez. Next game we're talking about is the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland Athletics. Yo, Jordan Zimmerman 6.3, Jesse Hahn 7.6. Give me some Jordan Zimmerman, goddammit. I mean, excuse me, some Jesse Hahn. I like Jesse Hahn. I'm going to have some Jesse Hahn. 16, 28, 19, 16.7 his last 4 starts. All those very solid for the price points he was. Never has he been over 6.5K, which is still a pretty good spot for him. 7.6 is up a little bit, but I think against the Detroit Tigers, I don't have an issue with that at all. I'm going to have some exposure to Jesse Hahn. He's a very consistent guy. Very consistent guy. I like him in this spot. 10 mile per hour wind going out toward right field, 61% humidity, 0% chance of rain, 62 degrees, 49 dew point. This game should play without incident. 8.5 is the run total. I like him because he's at home too. 9:05 game, getting the start to that late stuff. I'm good. I like Hahn in this spot. Jordan Zimmerman, don't really love the Oakland bats in this spot. It's not a thing where I just hate Zimmerman. This could be a low scoring game. He could have a fairly solid one too. But he has given up 91 hits in his last 65 innings pitched. That is coming from Christopher Marie. That's a lot. So taking a look, you look at yonder Alonso, Stephen Vaught had a good one out. Matt Joyce is the guy that I think you can take a look at as well. A little bit further down the order, and maybe some Jed Lowry. Now, Rajai Davis leading off is always a threat to steal a bag. A few of these guys you can take a look at. Now, if you want to attack Jesse Hahn, a couple of ways to do that. Of course, Miggy at 4.6. Pretty good. I think that this dude hit like the most opposite field home runs since 2016. Miguel Cabrera. So that's a ton. That's a ton. Chris Davis is always in play in GPP. Zimmerman has 4 negative point games in the past 15. Wow, that's a lot. Maybe Lowry is a one-off. I can take that. I'm all in with you. Next game we're talking about is the Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. This is a 12 mile per hour wind here going out towards center field. We've got 64% humidity, 7% chance of very light rain, 62 degrees. The game should play without incident. We got Lance McCullers at 11.4 and JC Ramirez at 6.8. Yo, this is tough because I like McCullers. He's a guy that can rack up the Ks, man. Taking a look at him over the last few games, 25.45. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm telling you the straight up honest truth. I am not bullshitting. The only 2 times I did not play McCullers this year was against Cleveland on the road and against Oakland on the road. I played him everywhere else at home. The only 2 bad starts he's had this year have been away. The only time I haven't played McCullers was when he was on the road. Only time. McCullers is money at home. And it just game just so happens to be in LA. So that's kind of what pulled me off of him. Faye McCullers on the road is coming from Joshua Dewey. That's the only trepidation I have about playing McCullers. As he's so good. Gunn was playing McCullers on the show, and he was dying. Made it funny. We not like him today. Yeah, I'm telling you, I loved him at home, and I've played him. The only 2 times I haven't played him, and I really didn't mean to not play him. I was like, oh shit, damn, I didn't play McCullers, and he just bombed. And what I looked at, like, yo, that's when the dude's away. There's something about it, man. Lance will make him dance. He's coming from Jake Nolan. Last 2 years, McCullers has a 6.8 ERA on the road and a 2.3 ERA at home. You're getting it. You're getting the sauce right now. That's what you're getting. You're getting the sauce. Almost too much sauce. Almost too much sauce. But it's Saturday, baby. We love it. JC Ramirez at 6.8. Kind of like the spot that he is in here. Last few games, 26, 27, 19, 3.65 in the first game. No issue playing Ramirez in this spot, man. You know, normally I'm a guy that hates to attack Houston, but, yo, they just haven't been lighting it up, man. They're on the road. I think a cheap contrarian play can be JC Ramirez. You can go there on this slate. You can. If you look at, these are places where you're gonna have to go if you're trying to pay up for those Coors bats, whether it's for the Arizona side or the Coors side, the Rocky side. The Angels don't strike out that much. I could see McCullers walking pitchers and only lasting 5 innings with 100+ pitches. Coming from Q-Dub, man, definitely agree with that. I'm probably going to play Ramirez tonight. I like Ramirez a lot. That's coming from Josh Dewey, man. I tend to echo that. I do like him too. I'm on. This game we're talking about the late night hammer. It starts at 9:10 Eastern time. We've got a domed game here. The temperature's going to be 57 degrees. Humidity 48%. Marwin will be lower owned after yesterday and playing him again anyway. Yo, Martin Perez, Chase DeJong, attackable pitchers. Both of these are attackable pitchers. Perez and DeJong. They're both very attackable. You look at Perez, he's had 2 negative games in his last 3 and only scored over 11 DraftKings points in 1 game, and that was against the Oakland Athletics on the 9th. No thanks, I'll take my 2 days of Marvin and keep it moving. That's the dude I'm normally on. I like Marvin Gonzalez. So I like Texas bats, but you can probably get both sides with the bats. Yeah, you need advice. Can't decide between Owings and Trey Turner. I go Turner. No, I go Owings. Give me Owings. Give me Coors. If I'm choosing between this guy, and one of the guys in Coors, yeah, give me Coors, bro. Give me Coors. Just give me Coors. I'll be good with that. All right, Corey Randall talks about a Seattle stack. Kyle Segura, Nelson Cruz, Danny Valencia, and Segura. Yeah, I can dig that. You got Segura here, Cruz, Valencia there. I can dig that. I don't have an issue there. Yeah, I like that. I wouldn't play either pitcher in the spot, but I would definitely attack the bats. And you could just give me the left-handers from, careful the Seattle stack. Yo, give me the left-handers from Texas. Give me Odor. Give me Gallo. Give me the homie Nomar Masara in this spot. Those are the guys that I like the most. Yeah, Owens is cheaper too, so Valencia has a nice BVP. I can dig that. Okay. I can dig that. Speaking of that, we're taking a look at some of these BVP situations. Now, this is what we got. If you're into BVP, man, you're going to see the plate attempts, at-bats, the hits, whether it's a single, a double, a triple, a home run, or a walk. And we'll just take a look at it a little bit, right? What we've got so far, we got Salvador Perez. That's one of the earlier games against Tomlin. That was a good one. What's another one? Who we got? Okay, we got Nelson Cruz, right? In 15 at-bats against Martin Perez, 12 hits, 6 singles, 2 doubles, 3 dongs, 3 home runs. You got 2 walks. Really solid batting percentage there. I wouldn't have an issue with him. Talking about Nelson Cruz in the spot, pretty solid BVP. Not a huge sample size there. We've got some other guys we want to take a look at when it comes to BVP, man. Kyle Seager against Martin Perez. This is why the Seattle stack is looking good, right? And 35 plate attempts, 32 at-bats. He struck him out 6 times, but he did walk him 3 times, and he got 4 home runs hit against him. That's Kyle Seager against Martin Perez. That's something to take a look at, okay? You've got, what's some other ones that I saw? Some pretty solid BVPs, man. Danny Valencia, another guy. 19 plate attempts, 16 at-bats, 6 singles, batting 375 against him. Only struck him out 2 times. You know, I like this. 3 walks, a home run against him. So this is something we can take a look at, man. Definitely. Seager stinks. He says Seager stinks. Seager's in play. For Cruz is going to be locked in for me tonight. That's coming from Christopher Marie. So we went and broke down a lot of the slate. Remember, you know, we've got on a 12-game slate at 7:05, there's going to be 12 games popping. We've got a turbo at 8:10. That's 2 games. At 9:05, night slate at 3 games. That's all we're going to have on today's slate. Tomorrow, we've got that big 15-game all-day joint that kicks off at 1:10. So meet me here tonight in the first class. We're going to be breaking those things down as well. What catcher do we like? Okay. Well, let's pop it open and look. Let's pop it open and look. I like the Chicago Cubs catcher some today too. I like him some. I do. Yo, man, much appreciated to you, man. Much appreciated to you. Thanks, fam. All right. So we got Gary Sanchez at the top. If you want to get some exposure to cores, you can take a look at some of these guys. But I like Contreras at 3.7 against my Yankees. I think you can also take a look at Brian McCann again at 3.3 against Ramirez. I like him all the time. Montero, no. Matt Waiters at 3.2 is kind of interesting. No, Montero, he's not playing. Montero's not playing. He's not playing today. Anyone taking a stab at Amir Garrett? Yeah, some of us do like him. And I do like Waiters too. I'm on Waiters. Cervelli betting that 5 hole against Garza is somebody you might want to take a look at. So there's a few solid plays that catch we can take a look at. They are. There's a few solid plays. Now check. I'm gonna run something and see what happens here, based on all the guys that we liked. All right, now I do have a lineup available to you, right, that you can take a look at. And I asked the stack on this one. So what it's giving me is a New York Mets stack, and I want you to take a look at this, okay? You've got Dylan Bundy and Garrett Cole. Okay, Dylan Bundy and Garrett Cole are the pitchers on DraftKings. You've got Stephen Vaught at catcher. You've got Goldschmidt here at first base. Neil Walker, the switch hitter from the Mets. Nolan Arenado, Ashrubal Cabrera, Michael Conforto, Curtis Granderson, and Jay Bruce. That is a deep Met stack. Big Met stack here that you can take a look at. Chirinos is playing. Maldonado playing. Dude he's extra cheap and a professional barber. I usually punt with him when I need to save bread. Do you know if the 2-day NBA contests on DraftKings have late swap? On FanDuel or DraftKings? I don't think they're doing it. I'm sure they do it on DraftKings. Maybe on FanDuel they do. Maybe on FanDuel they do. So, and Chirinos is my favorite. Let's take a look at that, bro, because I want to see if the catcher on the slate is going to be Chirinos. Okay. I'm playing like today. This Kershaw stuff messing me up. That's coming from the homie Jeffrey Abbey, man. So I want to look at it again just to make sure. And you miss up the turn. Yeah, I can get it. I can dig it. I want to see what's up if we get Kershaw in there, man. See what happens. What we can do with Kershaw. Chirinos for the cheap pop up for me. He's good for righty on righty crime. I can dig it. I can dig it. we add Kershaw to our player pool. Okay, so if we add Kershaw to our player pool, the points projection goes up 3 points. And this is a Kershaw line for you. It's a Kershaw line if you like it. It's giving us pretty much a Detroit stack is what it's giving us. I mean, excuse me, an Oakland stack is what it's giving us if you play Kershaw. We've got Dylan Bundy, Clayton Kershaw, Steven Vaught, Yonder Alonso, Jed Lowry, Nolan Arenado, Cabrera, Conforto, Matt Joyce, and Raja Davis. That is what it's giving us. That's what it's giving us there. So ran a couple of optimals lineups for you, man. Gave you those. Let's just take a look at those. Before we go, man, just wanted to thank you all again for so much of your support and being a part of the sweatshop, man. I love this here. This is my shit. I love being involved with y'all day to day. If you want to be a full-fledged member in the shop, very simple. Go to the website, dfssweatshop.com. That's where you will be welcomed into the Facebook group and get everything that we have to offer you. Help, constant 24/7 help all day long. Very solid group of guys. Thank you so much, man. It's going to be a really solid rest of the baseball season. NFL is going to be soon approaching, and I guarantee you we are going to step up again as the leader in NFL. We've got some very solid shit in the works for you, man. Hope you really can want to get involved in that. Can't take a delay or a zero there. No, you don't ever want to do that. So thank you all so much, man. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night. Get to the money, and the number one thing I want you to do, I want you to make some lineups in the main. I mean, in a turbo, throw them bitches in the main, and I want you to keep it 300. Peace.